Hey, good morning everyone. Tuesday morning, the 1st of December 2020. Can you believe it? We have made it to December. Well done. This morning's devotion is a reading from John chapter 13, reading verses 14 through to verse 16, which reads, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should also wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. I tell you the truth, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him." Retaliation has its appeal, but Jesus has a far better idea. John chapter 13 records the events of the final night before the death of Jesus. He and his followers had gathered in the upper room for Passover. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything and that he had come from God and he would return to God. Jesus knew the who and why of his life. Who was he? He was God's Son. Why was he on earth? To serve the Father. Jesus knew his identity and authority. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel he had around him. Jesus, God's Son, washed feet, even the feet of Judas, that lying, greedy rat who sold Jesus for a pocket of cash. Yet Jesus washed his feet. Here is the thing, if he washed the feet of his Judas, you will also have to wash the feet of your Judas, your betrayer. Jesus' Judas walked away with 30 pieces of silver. Your Judas has perhaps walked away with your security, your spouse, your job, your virginity, your childhood, perhaps your retirement and or investments. Yet we need to wash the feet of our Judas. Most people don't want to. Every time they think or hear of that person's name, they blow up, sending hateful words out, polluting and stinking the world. Most people keep a pot of anger on low boil on the stove. Is your pot of anger simmering, or is it off the stove? Here's the thing again. You are not most people. Grace has happened to you. Look at your feet. They are wet, soaked in God's grace. Your toes, arches and heels have felt the cool basin of God's grace. Jesus has washed even the dirtiest parts of your life. He didn't bypass you and carry the basin to someone else. My dear friends, here's the challenge. To accept grace is to accept the instruction to give it as well. With those few words, my prayer is, may the Lord be with you. May he bless you. May he cause his face to shine upon you. Be with you always. And remember, to accept grace is to accept the instruction to give it as well. Goodbye.